الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Inshallah, we'll have a brief reminder about the importance, the significance of remembering and commemorating the memories and the calamities that came upon Ahlul Bayt salawatullah wa salamu alayhim ajma'een in the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt and in the practical sense. In the hadith, I want to share the hadith from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, in which the Imam asked his students whether or not they gather and whether or not they remember, they do what he referred to as تحدثون أتجلسون وتحدثون. Do you gather and recite our ahadith? And hadith refers to what they said, and it also refers to their memory. Hadith literally means a discussion, a speech, or a talk. But here it refers to the memory of the Prophet, and Ahlul Bayt refers to their words, their memory, their stories, and so on. All of that is within that category. And then eventually the Imam, he says, we love, meaning the Prophet and his family, they love those gatherings in which they're remembered. And we know that their remembrance is not for anything other than remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is essentially for our own good, essentially to be a better human being. Those who are ignorant or neglectful of God and the hereafter, neglectful of the world beyond this physical world that we're living in, those people typically are more focused on this world and material things, material gains. They're more analytical when it comes to worldly gains, cost and benefits of things in this world. There is no focus on ethics and morality. There is no focus on the hereafter and goodness. Rather, it is merely worldly focus. Whereas people who are conscious of God, people who are conscious of the hereafter, people who are more concerned about pleasing God and about being in the state of in a mutual state of pleasure, meaning radiyallahu anhum wa radu an, being pleasing and pleased with God. And this is important to actually understand this mutual state of rida with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not that they are pleased, meaning God has to do something to please us. Rather, it means that they are pleased with whatever God decrees. They have reached a state of peace and a state of faith, a level in their faith that they know whatever comes from God is essentially good, and therefore they are pleased in all situations. And that reflects in itself, on the pleasure from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with them, and on their actions that would bring pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This all starts with remembering God, and remembering the Prophet and his family is definitely in line with that. And especially when we remember their sacrifices, because it teaches us, it reminds us of the fact that life is full of trials, life is full of tests. Life is not a place of happiness where we just look for pleasure and happiness in this world, because those who are focused on that are the worldly people. Whereas godly people and people who are more focused on God and the hereafter, they're aware of the fact that this is a trial, and essentially they're aware of the fact that in this trial there are difficulties, and unless and until one is able to sacrifice and give up some of these worldly, some of these worldly attachments, and give up some of their worldly comfort. Unless they do that, they will not be able to ascend and do better. This is where remembering their sacrifices and what came upon them in terms of calamities and trials help us in our journey of purification, our journey of bettering ourselves, our journey of a traveler to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, essentially through the memory of his Prophet and his progeny, salawatullah wa salamu alayhim ajma'een. Inshallah, if we have the opportunity during the after salat, during dua kumail, we will have short masa'ib, inshallah, in remembrance of the Prophet and his progeny and their calamities, inshallah. And we will also continue in this month and month of Safar, as it is announced that today was the Mukammil, and tomorrow, I think, is the first of Safar. They announced it. Tonight is the night of the first of Safar. Inshallah, we'll continue remembering the calamities and the stories of Ahlul Bayt, the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in this month of Safar. And a quick reminder regarding the month of Safar. It is narrated, and there are suggestions that it is a month that we need to protect or seek protection from God against ill fate and ill things that may happen. Although this is important in every time and every month of the year, however, it is specific for this month, and there's a dua for it. Inshallah, we'll share that dua tomorrow during Salatul Jum'ah, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the opportunity to be in remembrance of Him and His messenger and the family of His messenger. We ask Him to make us amongst those who listen to what's said and follow what's best. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على